So friend, I heard Osho first time. I remember the fruitful day. It was 29th March 1969. In the evenings, about 6 o'clock. First time I had darshan of Osho in one of his discourse. Then I started reading him and writing letter to him. And he used to answer, those days he was in Jabalpur, and he used to answer personally all his letters. So I received, sometimes I fell in so much love that sometimes I was writing 2-3 letters a day, one in the morning, another in the afternoon, one in the night. And he used to answer one letter out of my 10 letters, maybe he would answer one letter, but with his own pen and own writing. So I was asking several questions. So Osho gave me a reply that howsoever I answer your question will not be answered. You will have to find out your own answer through meditation. And he told me that he is going to conduct, those days he was conducting only few meditation camps. So he said that next camp is happening in October. I was writing in March and April. They said next camp is happening in October. It was not Mount Abu, it was Dwarika in Gujarat, is a holy place. So he said that if you can come to attend that meditation camp and meditate with me, he said, and you will find out your own answer. I was a student, I didn't have much money to travel, and there was a lot of difficulty to make long journey. But his call was so strong that I decided to go. And anyhow, I reached Dwarika, where he was conducting meditation camp. Those days Osho was not popular, so there were not many people in meditation camp. There were less than 100 people. But it was camp in Gujarat. Dwarika is in Gujarat in India. And the participants were only from Gujarat and Maharashtra, from Bombay and from Gujarat. So they were speaking Gujarati or Marathi, which I don't understand both languages. No? Themselves they were talking in the two languages. I was the only person from Nepal and from outside Gujarat or Marathi who did not understand. I was understanding Hindi, but they were speaking all the time in Gujarati or in Marathi, and also was giving lecture in Hindi, of course. So I could not understand that there was a time for meeting Osho every day after the lunch. He was meeting people from 3:30 to 4:30, 1 hour. But they were talking in Gujarati and Marathi, so I could not understand that there is a fixed time to meet him. So I missed that time. And there were 5 days camp. On last day of the camp, it was announced that tomorrow morning, after morning session, Osho will go back. And that was the last session, tomorrow morning. So I thought, oh my God, when I didn't have a personal darshan. I used to see him during his discourse and meditation, but I had personal question, lot of questions to ask. So I inquired, they said, well, no, you fool, you didn't go to, and I was the most junior, they were all senior businessmen in that camp. I was only a poor student, I was only a student I was in 20s, and he didn't have much money, and I was a lone outsider, loner. So they told me that he was meeting every day from 3:30 to 4:30. Why didn't you go? I said, I didn't know. And most of the notice was also in Gujarati. That night I could not sleep. because tomorrow morning Osho will leave after a morning session. So there was no time to tomorrow. There's no going to be no interview, and I have a bundle of questions I brought from Nepal. I was suffering in my life. I had many problems. I created so many problems in my life, and I had been with so many masters. So I had so much information which I thought it is knowledge. It was not knowledge, it was just information. I was carrying a bundle of information in my head, and I was confused because I have read so many masters. I was living a miserable life. So that night I could not sleep. And wake up early in the morning. I thought I must try to see Osho before he go. So I asked where is. We were living in a hostel, the campus, and Osho was staying in a Indian Navy guest house near the Arabian Sea, place like this, very beautiful place. So Osho was staying in an army guest house. So I was told that army guest house is staying in a few kilometers. So I walked in early morning. It was dark, 4:30 or something. It was still dark. And I walked, I found out that guest house where Osho was staying. I was pulled by him. The gatekeeper, the watchman, the early morning, he was also sleeping on his chair. So I entered into the gate. The big guest house, I don't know in which room Osho is staying. There are many rooms. One room was very big and it was facing the ocean and it had many windows. It was a special room. So my intuition said that this must be room where Osho is staying, because this is the best room, best view room. It was still dark, had not become dawn. So I went in the door and pushed the door, it was open. I entered into the room. It was a big room. A habit of Osho was that he used to prefer to live in a spacious room, and the first thing he will do that he will go to any place, he will remove all furniture. No, he would love empty room, or radio, or bookshelf, or anything. He will all remove everything. Then he used to keep one bed and one chair only. So there was one bed and one chair in a big room. And Osho was not in that room. He was in the bathroom. He was getting ready for the morning meditation discourse. I could hear the sound that somebody taking shower in the bathroom, the attached bathroom. So I could hear the sound, and he was not in the room. I could recognize by the fragrance of that room. Osho had a special fragrance. The people who have seen Osho, they will understand what I am talking. The enlightened master had a special fragrance around his body. So Osho had a special fragrance. I could feel the same fragrance in that room. So I had no other option just to wait. So I waited near the bathroom gate that he will come out. And you know, Osho had a habit of taking long baths. He would love water, and whenever he go into bathroom, he will spend at least 1 hour. He loved water and he should take long baths. So I have to wait long. Then he came out, and there was an empty room, and around 6 o'clock, he came out from the bathroom. He was in a lungi. Those days he used to white sheet around his body. If you see in old pictures, he used to wear only lungi and a shawl, no gown those days. Up to 1970, he didn't wear anything except lungi and shawl. After 70, he started wearing gown. So he was wearing a white sheet and his whole body was naked. And he was in his 30s, so he was young, very energetic, very handsome, and freshly bathed, I was taken away by his grace and his physical beauty. I was rather mesmerized by his grace. Then he saw in the early morning one guy sitting in his room without appointment. Reaching Osho without appointment was impossible. So he asked me, "Who are you?" Then I told him my name and I said, "I am come." In one go I tell him whole story. That I have come from Nepal and I have been writing you letters. Then you advised me to come to your meditation camp. So I have come to attend your meditation camp. And since you are leaving this morning, I could not check myself. So I have come to see you. I just told him all the story in one go. And I was also afraid that he may be angry that I have entered his room without appointment, without taking time. Then he looked at me and said, "Oh, now I remember everything." Then हिंदी में उन्होंने कहा, "अच्छा मुझे सब याद आ गया, सब याद आ गया." The whole room was marble floor, and it was month of November, October or November. It was cold, so the marble floor was very cold, and in the seashore it was windy. So he said, "Why you are sitting on cold marble?" Then he sat down on his chair. There was only one chair. I had no other place to sit. So I started talking back. So as you know, in the East, we have a special respect for master, that we cannot step on the master's bed. No? It's a very respected thing. That was our upbreeding. That where master sits, you cannot sit. So I was hesitant. I said, "No, I'm fine." That time we call it Acharya's niche. I said, "I'm fine, Acharya, I can talk to you standing. Or if you allow, I will be more comfortable if I sit down at your feet on the marble floor." He said, "No, marble floor is very cold. You will catch cold." So he forced me to sit on his bed. So I sat on his bed. It is called blessing in disguise. If I have taken an appointment in daytime, which I missed during the 5 days camp, they used to give only 2 minutes. So I would have 2-minute appointment myself. But I had been without appointment in early hour, in odd hour. So I was with him for 1 hour. And only just 2. When you have appointment through secretary, there used to be secretary in that room, so you cannot have privacy. There is a secretary and sometimes other followers also. So this is called blessing in disguise. That I didn't get a proper appointment, so I had an opportunity to be with my master for complete 1 hour. And he asked me to sit on his bed, and he sat on the chair. And he told me to tell him all my problem, all my story. So I told him everything. And I told him that I have been to many masters. I have been to Ramakrishna, Raman Maharshi, Mahesh Yogi, and I am reading a lot of religious books, trying to do yoga this way or that way. And I was trying to follow celibacy and vegetarianism. I was doing a lot of austerity those days. So I told him everything. Osho said, "Oh, you have suffered yourself too much. No, you have read too many books." Especially he satired at me. You know, the Gita Press used to print the religious books. He said, "Gita Press की बहुत ज़्यादा किताबें पढ़ी. You have read too many books." Then he said that I should live a normal life, a simple life, an ordinary normal life. It is not good to do austerity. I was eating no garlic, no onion, and I was eating only organic vegetarian food, and night food, all type of nonsense I was doing. No? So he said, stop all this nonsense. Live a very normal, healthy life. That suggestion he gave me. And then he asked me many questions. Few things I remember. It's already 44 years has passed. I don't remember everything in detail, but I remember the main points. One thing he asked me, that what makes you most happy? I told him, Bhagwan, traveling makes me more happy. It is my habit to travel new place, and when I go to new place, I become very happy. So I never wanted to become an engineer. I wanted to become a pilot of aeroplane. But my parents, they forced me to study science and engineering, and I'm not happy in engineering. I wanted to become a pilot so that I can travel around the world. Bhagwan said, oh, pilots see one airport, they don't see the world. He said, if you follow me and if you grow in meditation, I will make you travel around the world. One day I will make you travel around the world, and you will travel around the whole world and you will meet beautiful people in the world. That pilot does not meet beautiful people. I couldn't understand that day. It was very difficult to believe. So few things he told me, everything what he told me has become true in my life. I thought he's just consoling me. Then he said that Nepal has a great spiritual potentiality. He asked me, are you ready to work for me? I said, yes, Bhagwan. Yes, Acharya, I am ready to work for you. He said, then open some center. And that time, when sannyas has not started, sannyas has started much later. So he said, that time we used to give information center, or we used to call Rajneesh Prem Parivar. It was a kind of information center. All this dynamic and Kundalini has not started. So we used to keep his book and give people information about where he is living and where is the next camp. So meditation was not happening at the center. Meditation center he started giving from 1971. Before he was giving that information center, or called Rajneesh Prem Parivar in Hindi. So he told me to open a Rajneesh Prem Parivar in Nepal. I said, well, Bhagwan, I have to do that. He said that it would work for me. And one day, the whole Nepal is plunged, he told me, in his color. As whole Tibet has become Buddhist, similarly he said one day, one whole Nepal will be colored in his color. So that was very difficult to understand and believe. I was a junior student, I didn't have any experience of such thing, esoteric science. So slowly, friend, all these things has become true. Since last 10 years, I am traveling around the world. Every week, I am in a new city. Every month, I am in a new country. And every week in a new city. I don't know how you manage my health, because I am 70 plus, and person of my age cannot make this type of travel. My children are doctors, and they said you are a medical, you are an exceptional medical case, you know. How can a man of your age travel every week? It's very difficult. But I don't know. He manages my health, he manages everything, my finance, everything. My interview. Also listen to the whole story. They told me that, okay, let's make a compromise today, agreement. I couldn't understand what he's saying. He said, you do my job, you do my work, spread me in Nepal, and I do your job. You give me all your responsibility. I will take care of all your responsibility. Anything you cannot solve, leave it to me, I will solve it. And you just do your own job. You do my job, you do spread me in Nepal and make people know about me, send them here for sannyas. So let's decide today that you will do my work and I will do your work. And mine, you will not interfere in my work. I couldn't understand anything. But friend, miracle had happened. And all my problems were solved. And I have this master key. He has told me that anything which you cannot solve, you leave it to me. I will solve it. No? And you do whatever you can do for me. So that's what I am doing, friend. Since last 44 years I have done nothing spreading except talking about Osho, gossiping about Osho, doing some dance, playing music, doing Nataraj and Kundalini, and just telling Osho a story, and just enjoying my life. I have not done anything. And he has done everything for me. All my problem has been solved. And there has been so much work in Nepal. Whole Nepal is turning into Osho color. Now we have 70,000 sannyasi in a small country. We have about 70 centers and about 12 communes. 6 communes are under Tapovan. 6 communes is managed by other Osho sannyasi. So we have 12 communes in a small poor country. So all this miracle has happened. I still don't understand how it has happened. He has done a magic. He is a great magician. The only thing a disciple can do, according to my understanding, we can do only 2 things. One thing, we can love him immensely, and another thing, we can trust him totally. If we just do the 2 things and leave everything to him, he knows how to do his job. He knows his business very well. So you just trust him and love him. And I advise all my fellow travelers, all sannyasis, to just love Osho and trust him. And then just hang around him and do any foolishness you want to do. If you're still holding in hands, you are in a safe hand.